How is the Bible unique? Well, the word unique means being the only one, or being without a like or equal. Since the Bible was written over 1,500 years by 40 different writers and in 3 different languages, we'd expect a hodgepodge of style and topic. But actually, quite the opposite is true. First, the Bible is unique in its continuity. Starting from the creation of man, we find a single plan emerging. It's God's plan to restore a sinful world back to his original design and purpose. You see, God is passionate about his relationship with us, and he wasn't going to let Adam and Eve's sin ruin that relationship. So from the start to finish, we find God's plan of restoration woven like a continual thread in an epic story. It gets expressed in the Bible through historical narrative, poetry, song, romance, law, parables, and allegory. But however it's expressed from start to finish, there is a harmony of thought that avoids contradicting itself. Then we'll see that the Bible is unique in its translation. It's now the most translated book of all time. In the 100 years between 250 BC and 150 BC, the Bible was first translated from Hebrew to Aramaic, and then Aramaic into Greek. By 350 AD, the Bible was translated in the Egyptian language called Coptic. In 382 AD, Jerome, a leading Bible scholar of that time, translated the Bible into Latin, the common speech of his day. Jerome's translation was the first major book ever printed on Gutenberg's printing press in 1455. Now that's 1,000 years after the translation was finished by Jerome. By the 4th century, the early Bible translations of Hebrew and Greek have been translated into many languages such as Slavic, Syriac, Frankish, Persian, Arabic, Armenian, and Anglo-Saxon. Translations into English began in the 5th century with John Wycliffe. He was the first to translate the entire Bible into English. Then, 145 years later, William Tyndale did an updated version of the English Bible. For his crime of enabling English men and women to read the Bible for themselves, he was burned at the stake. The Bible is unique in its circulation. There are now more copies of the entire or portions of the Bible than any other book in history. Distribution is now in the billions. The Bible is unique in its survival. First, it survived through time. The Bible was originally written on perishable materials, like papyrus made from reeds. It had to be copied and recopied for hundreds of years before the printing press would be invented. Today, there is more manuscript evidence preserved for the Bible than the top 10 pieces of classical literature, all combined. Second, the Bible survived through persecution. During the first 3 centuries, Roman emperors tried to stop Christians from worshiping and tried to destroy their scriptures. Despite this, Christianity grew and the scriptures proliferated. The Bible also has survived its critics. Many more attempts throughout history have been made to destroy the Bible, but it's always prevailed. French writer and skeptic Voltaire in the 18th century predicted that within 100 years of his time, Christianity would be a footnote in history. Well, Voltaire is now a footnote in history, and yet the Bible lives on centuries later. The Bible has also survived harsh criticism. H.L. Hastings, a 19th century Bible scholar, wrote this: "Infidels for 1,800 years have been refuting and overthrowing this book, and yet it stands today as a solid rock. Its circulation increases, and it is more loved and cherished and read today than ever before. If this book had not been inspired by God, men would have destroyed it long ago. Emperors and popes, kings and priests, princes and rulers have all tried their hand at it. They die, and the book still lives. In summary, the Bible is unique in its continuity, its translation, its circulation, and its survival. But just being unique and having survived doesn't make it true. So we need to keep studying to find out for ourselves if this book is more than just unique. In our next video, let's talk a little about the purpose for the Bible.